Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die.
G'day legends, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to take our first look at the timing system for our wood routed track, which we have designed through Show Us Your Slots. Mike, absolute champion, and Anthony, mate, thank you so much for building this for me. We'll talk about this in a tick, but it has been designed to work with my magnetic racing custom gantry that supports lap timing systems. If you haven't seen the video, please check it out. It's on the channel. We get a world exclusive. You can order one of these. I've simply taken the measurements from up, across, and of course the guide slots themselves to marry up with the 6 globes that come with any lap timing system that needs to break the beam. So this should work perfectly for our project. As you can see here, we've got the holes drilled to put our globes in, and then there's multiple holes here just in case you want to drill a hole in the center or to the left. We'll be drilling holes into our slots to marry up with the globe up top. That's the gantry. Check out the video. It is absolutely stunning and the boys knocked it out of the park. But what we're going to try and achieve today, we're going to do a dry run. Firstly, before I tell you about the Arduino system, what we're trying to achieve today is running the wires from underneath all the way to where it needs to be, which is backside of the track, because that's where our monitor will be on a stand, and of course the laptop to run everything. And we're also going to be dry running the wires underneath the track and up and through the gantry itself. As you can see, it is hollow, so we should be able to run some wires, and hopefully I can get that in without damaging it. Let's just put that down, one hand man. Hopefully we can get the wires run up and in and have the globe set up above so we can then start drilling holes for the slots so they marry up. So that's today's job. Well, let's see if we can dry run it. Now let's quickly talk about the Arduino system. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. Show Us Your Slots got this made for me, absolute legends. The system itself looks incredible. I'm not a techno guru, so if you do want any information about this, please reach out to Mike at Show Us Your Slots. Really cool little system, and of course, very lucky to have it on the channel. But here, this is what we've got. So let me show you. Our clear globes, these are the ones that need to go into the slot, so when the cars go past, it breaks the beam from the blue globes to the clear globe. So the blue ones will go above and the clear ones will go below, and hopefully I get them in line so we can break that circuit to count a lap. We've got ourselves the power lead. It came with a power supply. It came with the cables that need to run to the laptop, some globe plugs which we'll try and use in our gantry, and a USB plug which will be used for the laptop. So there it is. Again, if you want any of the techno info, please reach out to Mike from Show Us Your Slots. I think we're going to be using TrackMate, I believe, but I'll update the video as we go. But now, let's do a quick dry run. So I'm just going to quickly show you, we have ran the power all the way over to where we need to be. You can see I've left this nice and open so we can run the Arduino system. A nice little pole here with a monitor, and I'm going to be screwing it to the side, which way it will be. Probably like that, so we can have the power going straight up into the monitor, and the laptop can be sitting on a little laptop stand here when needed. So that will be fixed off later on. We had plenty of length, of course. Underneath I will then fix off all the beautiful wiring. But now let's go around to check the gantry, which is where we're going to run our little globes that will break the circuit so we can have a lap timed. So what I've done is I've pulled the wires that we need for the gantry, the blue globes. These will be coming through the track, and then once I've finished doing the track, it'll be nicely fenced off. You probably won't see it. For now, I'm going to run it up into the gantry itself, and then later on we will have an etch out here so it just slips in nicely, because we do want to be able to remove this if need be, and it will be a permanent fixture, but you still want to be able to remove it in the future. So let me set up a camera and let's try and run these into here. So let's try and run the globes through the guts of the gantry. Now I'm going to try and make them as straight as I can so that I don't get caught in the detail of the gantry. So hopefully I can get one of these all the way to the end. And you can already see it's gone through some of the detail of the gantry. You've got heaps of holes in these. So let me just see if I can get a finger on one of those without damaging it. Let's pass it through. Here we go. So I'm going to pull it through the top first, making sure all 3 globes come up. Now, I guess if you wanted to order this with flat surfaces so it doesn't get caught like I'm doing, you can, but I do like the lightweight look, the metal look. So it's going to feed those all the way up. All right, so we've got our lights pretty much all the way through. I'm just going to rest that there for a tick, because I'm going to feed it underneath. And then we're going to do a dry fit, and I'll move the camera to show you exactly how it looks. So far we need a little bit more length. So let me just lift that up. There we go, got as much length as we need. That's going to plug in there. So our first one and our third one. So let's just get a little more length. Now it is a bit fidgety, but once you get them set, they shouldn't move. Okay, that should be enough there. I'm going to double check the lengths. And because it's hanging, here we go, all caught. So we've got plenty of length, it's just making sure we don't overdo it so we don't have too much overhang. So that's one, that's two, and that is three. Now that one needs a little bit more as well. Let me just alter this quickly. There we go. And that's three. So I'm going to pop the camera out and show you exactly what I've just done. So as you can see, this is our dry run. Now we'll be putting some light plugs in here. At the moment they can just float in and out. And what I want to do is I want to make sure there's just enough in here so it's not curling up. We will have more overhang underneath the track. That's okay. But with these globes here, I should be able to now backfill them with these little plugs. So hopefully that sit in spot. And then we're just going to line up the globe down to the slot itself. I'm going to put a little drill hole in there, pop the other globe through, might silicone back it or even try and get a couple more of these just to make sure it just sits there. We don't need it to pop out. You don't want it to hit the guide, but you also don't want it not to line up with our lights. But there we go. So we've dry runned the top section of it. Now it's time to, I guess, try and drill the bottom. Let's go. So timing update, I did have to move the gantry because unfortunately, as you can see here, I do have a support brace underneath, which means I have to drill through that all the way through and then run the leads up. So I have moved the gantry across, which now gives me some nice clear bits of wood to work with. Now I am marking the holes to drill the underside, or firstly a pilot hole, then to drill the underside for the globes that come underneath. You're gonna have a globe from the top and a globe from underneath, and they need to be sort of in line, as you can see with this bit of dowel, so we can break that circuit. So I've gone and purchased the world's longest bit of dowel. I'm running that straight through the hole, which then sits perfectly inside each slot. And if you can see, I hope you can see that there's a little bit of a paint dot. So I've dabbed it in some paint, a little bit of paint that I'm painting the sim room up with. There it is. And that's now marking off my holes. So now I'm gonna get a drill some pilot holes, make sure it's big enough to fit the globe underneath, do a dry test. If I like that, then I will go get some of the, and I've now lost it, you can probably see one in there, one of the globe plugs, so underneath it be nicely clipped. But remember, I can't come up too high because the guides on the cars will hit, so just enough to get that globe in there, and when they break that circuit, happy days. Oh, hold on, there's one of these little plugs here, and there you go there. So it's time for me to drill. I'll do that off camera. I'm very nervous, but we're almost there. So a massive update on the track. We have, of course, all 3 lanes powered. I have now fixed off our timing system. We've got the top lights. Let me see if I can take this off without making any noise. You can see our lights above. Don't worry about the blue tack. I've got a plug coming for that. I've misplaced it. And we've also got the globes that are in the base of the track. If you can see, just those little holes there. It's just enough so the globe is just coming out. The cars won't touch it. Quickly show you underneath. It's pretty simple. Little boop, boop, boop. 3 globes, and I've ran the brains of the operation. The Arduino goes all the way underneath. So let's go over there and have a quick look. I am using Race Coordinator, and I did have a good old chat with Anthony V and slotz on setting it up. Here is the Arduino. I've actually got that on some release hook, so I can actually pull that out, but for now, we'll leave that where it is. It's the brains of the operation. Simply, we are plugging into our laptop, which we then run Race Coordinator. Now, a little bit of fidgeting here. You do have to put in your lane laps, or your lane lengths. Let me just quickly get out of this. Yes, yellow flag. And let's get into the track setup so I can show you the back end of this. So we are running the Arduino, which is what the system is talking to. Let's go to config. I'll show you what we've done here. Let's go to our analog setup. this is where you start talking to the pins, what's inside the box itself, and this is where I got some help from the legends at Slotz, and of course Anthony V, the brains behind the operation, and he's also organized the light setup on here. So we've got lane 1, lane 2 and lane 3, and the good thing is we have a red light, which means nothing is breaking that beam, and as soon as we go through, you'll see those flick off. I'll see if I can put a demo in there for you. Got the call button active. Let's get back out of that. I've put in our scale, which is the good old 32, of course, 124 as well, and 164, but we have to put something in. I've chosen my colors, and I hope that comes up, yellow, green, and orange. Very similar to what we've got, which is a good thing. And I've also, if we click on each, yellow, and we've got 18.8 length or meterage when it comes to track. All three of them have the same. Now that's give or take. It doesn't really matter. It just wants to know exactly how big the track is. And of course, we're not driving around mapping the track. It's just knowing that it should take about 18.8 meters to get around. And we've called it the TSCG Raceway. Set it up with 3 lanes. That's very simple. If you are running this at home, and if Slotz is going to be selling these, if you do want one, please reach out to them. They may be able to make you a custom system as well. All you keep doing is just adding lanes and colors. Very, very simple. So there we go. We have got the Arduino race coordinator up and running. I've got to play with the drivers, the pitches, that stuff you can do after the fact. Of course, when we have some racing here, I'll make sure we've got the right cars, the right people's names. So far, we've just got TSCG and a couple of randoms. But that is how we do it. And how does it look when we start it up? Wait for it. There we go. We have got 3 lanes. Happy days. Yes. So an update on our projection screen, or our TV that I was going to put there. I've decided to go, I mean, we've kept this track as a budget friendly. Everything I've done has been very budget friendly. So I'm going to try something different. Gone down and got myself 5 meters of HDMI cable, just 1.4, does 4K at 1080p, which is enough. And I've picked up a very cheap projector with screen. Now, I haven't tested it yet. As you can see, it's still in the box. That just cost me 120 Australian dollars, but inside, if I can do this with one hand, we're gonna find ourselves a sheet, which we're gonna need a low light, but my goal is, once I get everything up and running, is to light the track up with 2 LED strips side by side. So we've got our little projection screen, which hopefully we can hang. And here is the little guy. This is the little projector. Stand by. Let me get it out of the box. This is what hopefully, let me get that out of my mouth, hopefully is going to project race coordinator up on our screen. So I'm going to have it on a little tripod. It takes a HDMI at the back, and if I have to even put it somewhere inside the track where it points up, or even if I have to bring the track backwards a bit so we can get this projected on there, I think this is a really cool way to present our race coordinator. So hopefully next time you see this, we'll be sort of demoing it there. Let's go. Test, test, test. So here is a demo of the projector. Now this isn't its final resting spot. I just wanted to see how it does project up on the wall. That's the projector there itself. It won't be where it's going to be staying the whole time, because I have now thought, there is the screen. It is quite big. It can get bigger. That white sheet that you see is what came with the kit. Now you're getting a lot more light in the lens than is actually in the shed. It's quite dark in here. That screen is very bright to me, but you can't probably see that because it's picking up more light on the camera. But I am thinking we may need to turn the track this way, so it's the long ways, and then use my display area here as the projection screen, because the further back we come, the bigger the screen will get. Now, I believe this does have Bluetooth. I have to look up the product code on it to make sure it does, but it does have an inbuilt speaker. You might be able to hear it. So you can hear the bip noise, and of course, it's displaying up on camera, and we'll quickly try and get a lap in. You can hear the car going around, and you will see on green lane it should now trigger another lap, and there you go. So this does make a sound. I have not made any adjustments to the picture quality or the sound itself. I believe I can do a wireless speaker to this. So I think the next step is to move back, have a look at the whole track in its entirety. We will be lighting it up. This is a demo bit of rope that I'm going to be getting, hopefully some custom lengths made for the track, both sides at 18.8 meters. But I think we will turn the track around and use this as our projection screen, but just a different way to show off race coordinator. Yes, I could put a nice big TV up, but I think this will be okay. Marshalling wise, not many people will be standing here, but we'll work around that. And of course, I can have this allocated around the track somewhere else, or even beside the drivers, who knows, so no one gets in the way. There we go. That's our projection screen for our wood routed track.